First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. Appreciate all of you joining us here today. This is our live streaming program. We're on YouTube. We're on all of our apps. We're on the website. So if you found us, congratulations. Remember where we are. We're live every weekday at 1 p.m. Pacific. But today I'm talking about something that's very close to my heart, and it has to do with, it's really nice weather out right now. I'm outdoors a lot, and that means wherever I am, mosquitoes find me. I won't go into too many details, but there's a lot of bites that happen. When I'm around, most other people don't have to worry about getting bitten. So we wanted to talk about that today and discuss what is actually going on to help control that, how that works, and there's a great organization that does that, and that is the Clackamas County Vector Control. And we're joined now by Josh, who's the executive director, to talk about this and what you do to help combat that and flies and other things that are going on. But Josh, I think to start off for everybody, can you explain what the Clackamas County Vector Control is and does?
Sure. We're a mosquito control organization in Clackamas County, Oregon. So we're chartered with controlling flies and mosquitoes throughout all of Clackamas County. We service, like I said, the entire county. We're funded through a tax base, and we're here to provide our services to all constituents of Clackamas County.
And with that, that's a pretty big area too, Clackamas County and as a whole. So let me just ask, I want to get into exactly how you do that and really go through the educational side of that part. Can I ask just straight up though, are mosquitoes worse this year than they were last year?
It would depend where you live.
Okay.
So for us in Clackamas County, we're not having record high numbers or anything. I know a few of the other districts around the state are having record high numbers this year, but in Clackamas County, we don't tend to have the flood water areas that, say, Multnomah County has, being on the Columbia River. So our numbers haven't been exceptionally high this year, no.
Okay. All right, so maybe it's just me. Let's talk about mosquitoes, though. You just mentioned floodwaters. You mentioned, it depends on where you're at. Let's walk through some basic mosquito facts, information that you think people need to know about where certain areas could be concerns and others would not be.
Sure. So our main concern is stagnant water. Mosquitoes' life cycle requires stagnant water for them to breed in. Their life cycle takes place in water, all except for the adult mosquito. And so we're looking for things around your house. Different areas of your yard can have standing water. Even the gutters this time of year that could have been plugged up, they could be holding water. There could be mosquitoes breeding in the gutters at your house. But yeah, really anything you can do to eliminate standing water around your property or your neighborhood is going to be beneficial in reducing the mosquito population.
I'm going to be honest, the gutters is not something that I thought about. I know I need to clean them. I did not think about the fact that that could be a perfect breeding ground and why there are mosquitoes around my house despite not having standing water. So that's something that I need to do very, very quickly. So what are some other things that you think people should know? I mean, obviously there are concerns with the mosquitoes more than just getting bitten. There's diseases, there's things that are out there. What kinds of things should people be worried about with mosquitoes?
Yeah, so our main concern, other than mosquitoes being a nuisance and biting people, is our number one complaint. But probably the largest concern is that they can transmit diseases. So here in Oregon, we're mostly concerned about West Nile virus. There's been a few other viruses that have come up throughout the years, but our main concern is West Nile virus. It occurs in Oregon every single year. We don't necessarily have it here in Clackamas County every year, but throughout the state, it's here. It's transmitted. The birds are a reservoir for the virus, so the mosquitoes actually bite an infected bird, and then when that mosquito that's been infected bites you is when it has the possibility to transmit West Nile virus to you as well. So that's probably our biggest concern.
I had no idea that's how that works. So it comes from birds then via the mosquito to you. And, West Nile virus certainly a concern in other years as well. So you said that we haven't really heard of the cases yet, but that doesn't mean that it's not coming. So looking at it, from that standpoint, I guess, what are some ways that vector control goes about, trying to tackle that and keep the populations down?
Sure. So we operate under integrated mosquito management, which is kind of a holistic approach. It's based on surveillance. So we conduct a lot of mosquito surveillance, and that involves setting traps so that we know what types of mosquitoes and how many we have out there in different areas of the county. So each week we're surveying certain sites across the entire county. And then we have somewhere between 6 to 10 seasonal field technicians that work for us every summer. And they're assigned a different area of the county, and they visit all of the known water sources that we've found in the past that have breeded mosquitoes. So they go out and take samples of the water to see if there's mosquito larvae present there. And then, depending on if we have mosquito larvae present or not, we determine an appropriate treatment to reduce that mosquito population in that area. So that's kind of how we operate.
And talking about the treatments, what are some of the different ways that you go about doing that? So if you say you find a sample and there's a big population there, what are the treatments that you can use?
So probably our most popular is a mosquito-eating fish, the gambusia that we distribute. If the habitat is aquaria or it doesn't have any inlets or outlets, we can put mosquito-eating fish in there, and they, are a natural means to treat mosquito larvae. We don't have to apply any chemical or anything like that. But then we also use mosquito dunks where appropriate. Those are extremely targeted to mosquito larvae. So we're trying to have the least amount of impact on people and the environment, but still control the mosquitoes is necessary for public health. So,
tell me more about that mosquito-eating fish. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's called a Gambusia affinis, and it's native to the southeastern United States. And they're present here. They're in most of our bodies of water, but they are considered invasive, and that's why we're not able to place them into any natural bodies of water or anything that has a potential to overflow into other bodies of water. But they're a small fish, typically 2 to 3 inches in length, and they thrive on aquatic invertebrates, and mosquito larvae happen to be one of their favorites, and they do an excellent job in providing mosquito control. So
that's great. I had no idea about that. Looking at it, for any other, I guess let's talk a little bit more about vector control. First off, can you explain what vector control actually means?
Sure. Vector is any organism that can carry and transmit disease. So that's what we're concerned about, is the disease transmission. Like I said, most of our complaints revolve around what we consider nuisance mosquitoes, because there's different species of mosquitoes, over 2,000 worldwide. I think we have 58 species in Oregon, and some of those can transmit disease and others cannot. So some of the mosquitoes, that we're out there doing our surveillance, and that's one of the reasons, because we need to know if the mosquitoes that we have a big population of have the potential to transmit disease or do not, and that kind of plays into our risk factors of how aggressive we are with the treatment when we find those mosquitoes.
Is there a prevalent type of mosquito in Clackamas County?
Yeah, we typically see Culicida incidens is the species, and they're a larger mosquito, and they typically not super aggressive, but they're very noticeable because they're a larger mosquito, and they're not a vector, and they make up just over half of the mosquitoes we find each year, probably. And then Culex pipiens, which is a vector and can transmit West Nile virus, makes up another large portion of what we find here in Clackamas County. So those are our 2 most prevalent species.
Okay. Let's go to, after, you do all of your work controlling your population, there's still some of the issues that I think we all deal with, whether you're out camping or you're in your backyard or wherever you go and say mosquitoes around. What are some effective ways to control mosquitoes at your house?
Sure. The best thing you can do is try to avoid being out when mosquitoes are most active, which is dusk and dawn. You can wear long clothing, so long pants, long sleeve shirt, light in color. Mosquitoes tend to be attracted to darker colors, so the lighter color clothing you're going to wear will help. And then wearing a mosquito repellent, ones containing DEET is most effective. And one that I like, say I'm sitting out on my deck, I will put an oscillating fan out there. Mosquitoes are notoriously poor flyers. And so if you have enough air movement, that is going to help suppress the mosquitoes as well from attacking you while you're in your backyard.
That's some great advice. So I had no idea about that. The darker colors, they're attracted to those more?
Yes, yeah, they are.
Weird. Do you know why that is? And I can look that up, but I'm just honestly curious.
Offhand, I couldn't cite the scientific reason for it, but yeah, it's been shown in many studies that mosquitoes are attracted to dark colors. So
I have tried a lot of things. The DEET definitely does work really well. That's a great idea about the fan, and now I will be wearing brighter colors when I'm out. So that's something I'm going to work on. Now, going from there, mosquitoes are not the only thing that you're also focused on. There's also issues with flies. Can you talk to us about that?
Sure. In Clackamas County, we have a large rural population, a lot of farms, and so typically when we have a fly issue, it's an issue with waste. So whether it's manure on a farm or dumpsters outside of restaurants, things like that typically tend to generate large numbers of flies, and then we get complaints about them. So the best method to control flies is sanitation. So keeping dumpsters covered, things like that. But if we have a fly problem that's out of hand, we can come and we have a few different methods of treatment for that as well. So happy to help.
What are some of those treatment methods?
Typically, we have we call it a barrier spray, and so we'll apply it to areas where the flies are present and hanging out a lot, and that deters them from being in that area. Is the most effective treatment we have, but the best, like I said, the best thing you can do is remove the waste that's attracting the flies themselves is the most efficient and effective way to treat.
Something else that I know, and I noticed this on your website for Clackamas County Vector Control, is that you have a really robust set of educational tools on your website, and I wanted to talk about those. If you can walk us through, I believe it's Fight the Bite is part of that as well. Can you tell us about these tools?
Yeah, so our board of trustees who govern us here at Clackamas County Vector Control have made it a priority to spread education and awareness about mosquitoes. So we've developed a program that is available to teachers, and actually we have curriculum that meets state guidelines that teachers can follow. We offer life cycle kits that educators can come check out from us and actually teach lesson plans in the classroom. On our website, we have lots of different resources. We have some videos. We have an app video game that can be downloaded and played that has information about mosquitoes, controlling them, facts. Really, it's just not a lot of people know about mosquitoes or how to control them. So the best way to spread that knowledge is to start with the young school-age children, and so that's where we've focused a lot of our effort.
And then there's also a book, right? This Beware of Mosquito.
Yeah, we've done, I think, a few books now, but yeah, those have been very successful as well. We do programs at libraries or schools as well by request. So we have lots of different options available, and that's all on our website at fightthebites.com. So.
Yeah, that's really great. So that's something that you can go access right now, but also like you mentioned, for teachers or educational purposes, people can get a hold of those. That's great. Well, Josh, I want to thank you for being here with us today, too, to talk about this. But any final words of advice you have for everybody as we're getting more outside to just be prepared when it comes to mosquitoes?
Yeah, I think just observing what we talked about, trying to protect yourself from mosquitoes as best possible. And if the constituents of the county have any problems that they feel they need help with or would like our advice on, your tax dollars are already paying for our services. So we'd like to help you in any way we can. We just need you to call us and let us know, or you can submit a service request on our website. One of our technicians will come out and take a look at what's going on and discuss the best options with you.
Great. Well, Josh, thank you very much for taking your time to talk to us today. Thanks for doing what you do. I appreciate it on a personal level, and I know it's good for everybody else as well. And yeah, Josh, thanks for being on Fox 12 Now.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, there we go. I definitely learned some things I did not know, and as a person lifelong who has been bitten by mosquitoes, I am going to wear brighter colors. That's my mission for the summer. So now I know that. And thanks to everybody for joining us today. We've got more coming up, so we're live right now. Obviously, you've found us if you're watching us live on our apps on YouTube and on the website. I'll be back at 1:30 though with some more interesting things that you can do this summer. So we're going to talk about getting outside here now. So we talked about the mosquito side of things, and now we're going to talk about some other things that you can do when you're outside besides fight those, including biking in the woods. So that's coming up in just a little bit, so set a timer. We'll be back about 1:30 p.m. Pacific. Until then, I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.